Hello everyone, welcome to Tech on Cloud. This is your host Abhishek Kushwaha back with another interesting video of the Golang series, which is interfaces in Golang. In Go language, the interface is different from the other languages. In Go, an interface is a set of method signatures. When a type provides definition for all the methods in the interface, it is set to implement the interface, which is very much similar to the object-oriented programming concepts. Interface specifies what methods a type should have and the type decides how to implement these methods. Okay, let's take an example of an washing machine. Washing machine can be an interface with method signatures of cleaning and drying. Any type which provides definition for cleaning and drying methods is set to implement the washing machine interface. Okay, I hope this example of washing machine have make it little bit clearer for you to understand the concept of an interface. Now let's try to implement a program and see how interfaces come into action in Golang. So I will be writing a simple program that calculates the total expenses of a company based on the individual salaries of an employees. We have assumed that all expenses are in US dollars in this program. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit overview structure of the program. I would be implementing an interface with a variable named salary calculator, and it would be having a method signature in it, calculate salary, which would be a method function, and it would be of type integer. Then I would be implementing two categories of employees, which is permanent and contract, and they will be in the form of structures with respective fields and types. Okay, and then we will be defining calculate salary method signature functions for both these structures, which will be basically the type of employees, permanent and contract, and through that we will be trying to calculate the total salary expenditure. So it would be a very interesting program. Let's try to understand and implement it. Okay, so let's first implement package main. Import fmt like we usually do for Golang programs. Okay, now next part comes that we have to declare an interface, as I said, with the variable name salary calculator, and it would be having the method signature calculate salary. Okay, like in previous video I told that how methods are defined. Okay, and I have shown the method how to call an I have shown you the way how to call a method. Let's try to understand the syntax of declaring an interface along with the method signatures. So it is similar to structures basically. So type, we have salary calculator. So this is a variable which I am defining, and I am giving it a type interface. So what this statement says, basically line number 5, that there is a variable declared salary calculator of type interface. Okay, and this is also how the structure is also defined in Golang. But the thing is that instead of interface there is struct written. Now let's declare the method signature calculator. Let's make a function of calculate salary only, salary and bracket, it is a function. Okay, and it would be having a type integer. Now let's come to the next part. We will be making now the structures of two categories of employees, which would be permanent and contract with the respective fields and types. So let's make it. type permanent, and it, as I said, would be struct. So what can be the fields which can assign to this permanent employee? We can have his employee ID, which would be of type integer. Okay, let's make D a smaller one, code it in a good way. Now I would be having a basic pay, which would be also of type integer. And what a permanent employee have also, it has an employee ID, it has a basic pay, then it has a provident fund with him for future use. So let's declare PF, and it would be also type integer. Okay, now the fields for the permanent employees is now done. I think it's good enough to demonstrate. Now okay, don't go away. Yeah, so let's make a field of structures for contractors. So simply a contract variable, declare it is a struct, and then curly braces. What can be their fields? Any guess, guys? We can have their employee ID, they would be having, and they would be having basic pay, but I think they don't have a PF. Yeah, let's make a little difference. Let's don't have a PF for our contract employees. Now this is a basic much things which I have declared. So the one part of the program is basically done. We have declared our categories and respective fields for them. Now let's try to implement the method signature function for both the categories of employees. So basically there would be two functions for calculate salary, that would be for a permanent employee and would be for a contract employee. So let's declare first for the permanent employee. So let's see how method signatures are called, means functions are written. This is similar to the method functions. Okay, so func, then we would be having a variable p permanent, then call this method signature with me, calculate salary. We are not passing any parameter, integer. Okay, what it has to do? Any guess? It has to calculate the basic pay plus PF. Now how would we call it? We call it simply with the help of p dot, and what we have for our permanent employees, we have our basic pay, and we will plus it with p dot pf. Okay, so basically method signature function calculate salary is declared for our permanent employees. Let's declare similarly for our contract employees. Func C for contract, okay, similar function calculate salary, we don't need any parameter, then integer. Let's close this. Okay, now what this contractor is having, it is having just a basic pay, so I return a basic pay here with the help of c dot basic pay. Okay, now total expenses is to be calculated now. Okay, so how we can do that? So we would be making first of all we should write a function main. Okay, we have an idea there, then what kind of basically what kind of type we can take for the salary calculator. So function main, so we have take E1 for employee 1. Let's first declare values for the fields of both the structure of permanent and contract. Okay, permanent, if you are having or you are not understanding how I am declaring the method, just go to the methods video in my Golang series playlist. You will be getting it and you can watch from there and understand. Basic pay, let's have 5,000. It will make richer our permanent employees. Then PF, say 20, very less. Then let's make one more for our permanent employee, permanent, not P, permanent. I hope is it visible? Yeah, it would be. Now tap, then similarly employee ID colon, let's make it 2, the employee ID, and let's do a basic pay here. What should be 6,000, something like that, comma PF, let's make it 30. Now similarly declare for our contractor E3, we have employee ID as 3 and the basic pay, let's make it $3,000. Okay, now let's take this in the form of a slice, okay, or array we can say. So employees, employee variable I am declared with a shorthand variable declaration. Then I am declaring salary calculator and with respective EMP1, EMP2. Similarly we'll be declaring our employee 3 here under the bracket, EMP3. Okay, now we are pretty much done in our main section. So what we have done, we have declared struct value for permanent employees, so it should be equal to colon, okay, and then we have declared values for it and we have taken it in the form of an array or slice you can consider, and the respective variables which denote they are the value which I am populating in the salary calculator slice or array. Now let's write a function to calculate basically the total goal, means our total requirement, which is to calculate the total expenses. Okay, so let's make a function func total expense, we can say total, not total, sorry guys, a little bit, total expense. Okay, our function name should not start with the capital A. So total expense, what we need to pass, we need to pass that slice which we created for the variable employee. Okay, so employee, no, we will be creating another S, then salary calculator, the name of the slice which we declared, and what we want in return, we want nothing in return. So let's try to implement some logic how to calculate the total expense per month. So what we can do, we can create a temporary variable expense, okay, something like expense, and we can declare it to 0. Now what we will do, we will iterate to this salary calculator slice, which would be calling out this method signature function of calculate salary for each category of employees. Okay, we can implement that. If anyone is not understanding the concept, okay, I will just code it out and try to explain it one more time for everyone. Okay, so let's make exp as a temp variable and declare it 0 initially. Okay, then try to do a looping here. So I don't want any variable, I will be keeping it a nil here. So now I want it with the range. So here I have called in my function, you can see s for salary calculator. So I will be iterating it over s for one by one value. Now let's add it. So this temp variable, what we will do, we will do addition. So exp plus v, which is the index basically of range, means one time this v will run, it will be calling this one whole, it would be one whole value. Okay, so s range s, okay, it was right, v dot salary, calculate salary. Okay, I think this will work. I'm going right. Yes, yeah, it should. So let's print out the final statement, fmt dot println total expenses per month would be in dollars. So dollar %d and this one, then the value which will be giving our result would be the temp value exp. Okay, now this method is declared here. Let's call it in the main function, total expense employees. So total expenses for our employee keyword. Okay, now let's save it and open the terminal and run it. Okay, let's see what happens. Go run interface.go. Okay, syntax error in line number 34. fmt.println okay, it should, a comma is missing here. Unexpected new line composite letter possibly missing 41. I have missed one comma here, I have missed one more comma here, I have missed comma also here. Okay, now it should work. Let's save it, run it. Even declared but not used. Okay, it should not be EMP, it should be E1. Okay, okay, I got the value. It is 145.50. Let's clear and print it again for viewers, which is this. We got the total expenses for a month. Now let's explain that function which I wrote for calculating per month expense. So it is here. So what basically it says, which slice, we are making a function named total expense, and with there is a variable s which would be handling those slice which we have declared in the function main, which are carrying the structure's value as the normal value. Okay, and we have declared a temporary value which variable which is exp with a shorthand declaration. In line number 31, I am iterating a loop with a variable v for our range s in the correspondence that it will iterate over the slice salary calculator and go to one by one value and perform the operation as expected. So what is expected? In line number 32, we can see the exp value variable is adding up. So initially it is 0, it is being add up with v dot calculate salary method. So what happens, this whenever for loop is executed, so this E1 item, which is basically one of the value of this slice in line number 55 is chosen or taken. We can say, suppose E1 is taken in V1, so it has employee ID 1, basic pay is 5,000 and PF in 20. This is the value which is there in slice. Now it calls v dot calculate salary. So what it will call? So it will go to the calculate salary function and it will search for permanent one. So we have permanent function defined here. Okay, so it will go there and perform the relative operations which we have declared in the return operation, which is that p dot basic pay. So we want permanent employees basic pay plus permanent employees provident fund, which will be added and sum up. Okay, similarly for the contract, and it would be totally compiled up and the total expenditure would be printed out as a output, which you can see in the terminal right now is 14050. So this is all how we implement interfaces in Go. So it is a much more real type means we can say a full real type program, and which demonstrated along with methods and functions how to implement interfaces. So I hope this video would be very helpful in clearing the doubts for interfaces. If you have any other doubts for interfaces, do let me know in the comment box. And if you like my this video on interface, do share it with your friends and colleagues who are new to Go languages and are brushing out their concepts. And for more interesting videos and updates on the videos, you can just subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get the latest updates whenever I post a video.